Anybody see that video that Ava passed around here? Uh, Reminds us what's going on here for the planet and the
I saw it.
different.
I saw it. It's Franken Skies. It's a pretty old one, but a good one.
Yeah, it's showing the with the systems from Antarctica and what they're doing there, and yeah, etc. Yeah, it's just amazing what they're doing to this planet. It's a reminder, we watch these things and we forget and we go back to our life and it's like, oh, no big deal. And that's what we do every lifetime, we forget. It's a real focus. Just like a career here becomes a person's focus. It's a choice. It's not easy. And we've had some interesting comments. This again, people come into this and they expect results right away. Well, I get it. It's kind of like going to medical school. After 6 months or a year, or even 5 years, do you know how to be the doctor? So again, trying to explain things to people. It's not easy. There's so many ways to do it, but again, we're in a literalized society. It's all literal. So they expect answers to equal what they think things are. And I get that too. But that's the part that each person decides, because this is, trying to reference something that's not literal. Yeah, not at all. Humans struggle to survive, and the birds, they do fine, and they're not literal, but the humans struggle to survive with their literal mind, thinking that they need a job. And so then they do. That's their choice.
And where is Claudia? Oh my God.
Claudia is going through situations, so she won't be around for a while. The Wi-Fi and that is really bothering her.
Okay.
The computer stuff, yeah, it's not good. She's went through a lot. She was out here for a while, and then she went back. And too much Wi-Fi out here. It's very heavy here.
Can imagine.
Oh, I feel it. It's very heavy.
Electromagnetic radiation. Some people cannot stand it at all.
I have a good friend too that's very aware of everything that's going on in the world. He used to have radio shows, and he is just going through bonkers every day with it too. Yes.
But you somehow just absorb all the things you're doing without effect. Duane?
Yes, we're here.
Yeah, I say you somehow managed to absorb the electromagnetic pulse without any effect on you.
It affects me. I feel the heaviness here. It's a heaviness. I feel it. Otherwise, I'm fine. Of course, I've gained weight since I've sat in the chair here for 4 years with Ava and tried to work it off surfing, but it's a little bit hard. But I feel the heaviness. But for the most part, yeah, I don't get headaches or anything like that. The new you offsets these things, and I focus too, but still the body, it's affected. Yeah, it's heavier. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think we'll start. I have a question which would have been asked maybe last week or even before, and it's it's uh, Henry Draper's question, which he doesn't have time before he knows it. We have rounded up, so I will help to ask the question in first place. So his concern is that we put so much emphasis on care for the physical body, which is fine, and because it gets us going here. But how can we take care of the other 4 bodies so that they stay in health? And I may add, how can we actually know that the other bodies are healthy? At least we know, or we can have feelings about the health or unhealthy state of the physical body. But what about the other bodies? So how can we take care of these bodies, these 4 other bodies? And how will we know that these other bodies are healthy or unhealthy? That's my part of the question, what I've added.
Yes. Well, that's good. Yeah, because for the most part, most people don't know that they have these other vehicles, and they're kind of wrapped in. It's like a burrito. They're kind of wrapped in the physical body, because this is where we're basically housed. It's like your car. You have all these functions in your car. You have the steering wheel, the driving, the radio, the GPS. You have all these. Your instruments in there. See, they're all wrapped in the car, aren't they? And so you have all these gauges, like your fuel and your electrical and, just anything that corresponds. And today you have gauges on everything, which is your brake system, your cooling system. Again, it's all wrapped in that car, isn't it? So these other bodies, when you decide to consciously look at yourself, it's kind of like this. It's, the people that I've known that are very fast forward, they're just always in a rush. My former girlfriend used to have almost every day had headaches and migraine headaches because she was very fast forward. She was very creative, but she was very fast forward. So the emotional side, the nervous system that she decided, in other words, it's like if you redline your car, if you have your tachometer there and you go so fast, but if you start to go in the red, okay, that's going to start to affect the engine, isn't it? Yes, that's called redlining. And you're just overdoing it, but if you drive your car at a basic speed, etc., and keep it there, well, then the car's fine. Everything's working fine, just like when we're okay. But when the real you decides to pressure these other vehicles in some way, your emotions, your memory, your mind, and your subconscious, then one starts to affect the other. So it's like a person that becomes enraged emotionally. Well, that affects their mental judgment, doesn't it? And it can affect the other bodies too with, it's like saying, well, gee, don't you remember when you were okay and we were in balance and we were happy? Well, then the person says, well, I don't want to hear that anymore. Again, so it affects the memory, and then it also affects the subconscious, because the subconscious starts to take in these emotional reactions and collects these things. You see, they become charged ideas, and so all the bodies are affected. So it's really very simple. It's all really very simple. Just, like the birds, you just be okay. And we all go through these things because we have experiences here every day, and we choose our experiences. And then we have to deal with the experiences of others. But basically, that's it. And it comes down to the physical. So we're in an environment here. And we know what the environment is. It's a poison planet, and it's getting worse every minute. So the physical body has to deal with that. Now, in the other realms, the astral, causal, mental, whatever, there are places, it's easier to decide a place there than it is here, because we're like, our bodies are like trapped on Earth, wherever they are. So we can move around the Earth. Okay, we can go in outer space too, but that's a difficulty. But here on the Earth, no, we're trapped on the Earth. So the whole Earth is poisoned, so we're trapped. But in the astral, causal, and mental realms, where we have other bodies to experience also, to wake up and become more aware, because that's what the whole of life, well, it's a lot easier to choose a position. So these are like plateaus. That's why we used to call them planes. All right, and they're seemingly endless too, because again, it's part of creation, and you can position yourself anywhere. Where here, we're at the mercy of just being on this little round world, and we can just travel around the world, and we can go to nicer spots, but still the whole world is affected. But to maintain the health of other things in the other bodies, it's similar, but it's not the same. And so again, things move by thought or imagination in the rest of creation. So you can supersede anything like the effects of the physical body, which is nice. And eventually you can do that here too, once you know how to do it. But just simply being okay and seeing yourself and looking at, now that you know you have these various bodies. And the subconscious is the big one, you might say, because there's a lot of old reactions in there, and the past life one too, it affects it. So, but you decide to go in there, you might say, and face these things. It's like going into another room and checking things out and seeing what's going on. And so it's just something you decide to do. Or you can remove yourself from the old situations. It's like moving from one house to another here. You decide that, okay, I want to move. I want out of this neighborhood. I'm going to move to another neighborhood. Well, you can do that with yourself on the real side, too. It's all very simple. A lot harder here. Yeah, it's a lot harder here. So, this is where it's all solidly packed. So, but the other bodies, they're a lot better off than we are on Earth here. Yes, and it's really pretty simple. So, as you become more aware, you just recognize it. Yes, Charles.